In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, where the most powerful species of the galaxy convened, humanity was little more than a footnote. The Council, an ancient and revered institution, was composed of species that had mastered the stars long before humans had even discovered fire. Each member held dominion over vast territories, their influence extending across countless star systems. To them, Earth was a distant, inconsequential world inhabited by a species still in its infancy, a species with little to offer and even less to fear. The Council had seen the rise and fall of many civilizations, and humanity seemed destined to follow the same path as so many before it, struggling against the vastness of space, only to be eclipsed by the might of more advanced species. Humanity's early attempts at space travel were primitive at best. Their ships, slow and cumbersome, could barely reach the nearest planets, let alone navigate the complexities of interstellar travel. The Council watched these early efforts with mild amusement, confident that humanity would never pose a threat or demand their attention. As humanity slowly began to expand its presence in the galaxy, establishing colonies on nearby planets and cautiously exploring the stars, the Council remained indifferent. Earth's concerns, when brought before the Council, were dismissed with little more than a polite nod. The humans spoke of potential threats, of the need for cooperation and mutual defense, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. The Council had far more pressing matters to attend to: territorial disputes among the more powerful species, trade negotiations, and the management of vast galactic resources. Humanity's struggles were insignificant in comparison. This dismissive attitude only served to increase the tensions between Earth and the broader galactic community. The humans, though aware of their limitations, were not blind to the dangers that lurked in the shadows of space. They knew that their growing presence might attract unwanted attention, and they sought to prepare for the worst. But without the support of the Council, their efforts were limited, their warnings ignored. It wasn't long before these fears became a reality. Among the many species that observed humanity's slow rise, there were those who saw an opportunity. A powerful alien coalition, formed by species with a long history of conquest, began to take an interest in Earth. To them, humanity's naivety and relative weakness made it the perfect target. The coalition's leaders, hardened by centuries of warfare, saw Earth as an easy prize, a planet rich in resources, inhabited by a species too inexperienced to defend it. The Galactic Council, aware of the coalition's plans but uninterested in intervening, viewed the impending invasion as a natural consequence of humanity's overreach. In their eyes, Earth's fate was sealed, and there was little point in expending resources to protect a species that had yet to prove its worth. The Council's decision was clear: they would stand aside and let the events unfold, confident that the outcome was inevitable. As the alien coalition prepared for its invasion, humanity remained largely in the dark. The signs of impending conflict were there, but without the Council's support, or any reliable intelligence from the wider galaxy, Earth's leaders could only speculate on the threat they faced. When the attack finally came, it was swift and brutal. The coalition's ships descended upon Earth's defenses with overwhelming force, targeting key military installations and planetary infrastructure with precision and ruthlessness. The initial shock of the attack sent ripples through the Galactic Council. Yet, even as news of Earth's devastation spread, the Council's members remained unmoved. They watched with cold detachment, expecting humanity to crumble under the weight of the assault. To them, this was the natural order of things, the strong dominating the weak, the unprepared paying the price for their ambition. In their minds, humanity's story was nearing its inevitable end. But what the Council and the alien coalition failed to realize was that humanity was not as helpless as they had assumed. Beneath the surface, hidden from the prying eyes of the galaxy, Earth had been preparing for this very moment. Years of being overlooked and underestimated had taught humanity to be cautious, to plan in secret, and to wait for the right time to strike back. As the coalition's ships continued their assault, they were unaware that they had awoken a force that had been lying dormant, waiting for the moment when it would be unleashed. The invasion had begun, but the outcome would not be as the Galactic Council expected. Humanity's true strength was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again. Humanity's journey into the cosmos had been marked by both challenges and triumphs, but their greatest achievement was one they kept hidden from the galaxy. While the rest of the universe saw Earth as a minor player, struggling to grasp the complexities of space, humanity was quietly developing a technological marvel that would change the course of history, faster than light travel. This breakthrough was no mere advancement. It was a quantum leap that put them on par with the most advanced species in the galaxy. But unlike those species, humanity chose to keep their newfound capability a closely guarded secret. The decision to remain silent was born out of necessity and foresight. Earth's leaders understood that revealing their hand too soon would invite unwanted attention, perhaps even aggression. Instead, they chose a path of strategic patience. The breakthrough in faster-than-light technology was shared only among a select group of scientists, military leaders, and government officials. The project was codenamed the Sleeper, a reference to the hidden fleet that would become the cornerstone of Earth's defense strategy. In the far reaches of the solar system, beyond the orbit of the outer planets, humanity began the clandestine construction of the Sleeper fleet. The location was chosen with care, far from the eyes of prying alien sensors and out of reach of routine galactic traffic. The fleet was built in stages, each ship crafted with the utmost secrecy, shielded from detection by cutting-edge stealth technology. These were not just any ships, they were the most advanced warships humanity had ever conceived, designed with one purpose in mind: to defend Earth against the threats they knew would one day come. The Sleeper fleet was the brainchild of some of humanity's brightest minds. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists came together in a coordinated effort, each contributing their expertise to the project. Among them was Dr. Elena Ruiz, a physicist whose groundbreaking work on quantum drives made faster-than-light travel possible. Her contributions were instrumental, and she became one of the key figures in the project, ensuring that the fleet would be capable of rapid deployment across vast distances. General Marcus Steele, a seasoned military leader with decades of experience, oversaw the tactical aspects of the Sleeper fleet. His approach was one of calculated precision, understanding that the element of surprise would be humanity's greatest weapon. He worked closely with the scientists to develop advanced weaponry and defense systems that could outmatch anything the galaxy had seen before. Under his leadership, the fleet was not only armed to the teeth but also equipped with state-of-the-art cloaking devices, making them nearly invisible to even the most sophisticated detection systems. The construction of the fleet was a monumental task, but it was carried out with unwavering determination. Each ship was designed to be both a fortress and a weapon, capable of withstanding massive assaults while delivering devastating counterattacks. The fleet's design incorporated lessons learned from centuries of warfare on Earth, blending traditional military strategies with innovative tactics suited for the challenges of space combat. As the fleet took shape, humanity's leaders exercised extreme caution, ensuring that no information about the project leaked beyond the inner circle. This secrecy was paramount. The element of surprise was their greatest asset. The decision to keep the fleet hidden was not without its challenges. It required immense resources and a level of coordination that few believed Earth was capable of. Yet, despite the odds, the Sleeper fleet grew, ship by ship, until it was ready to be unleashed when the time came. Throughout this period, Earth maintained its public face as a struggling, relatively insignificant player in galactic affairs. Humanity continued to build trade relationships, negotiate treaties, and expand its colonies, all the while maintaining the illusion of vulnerability. The Galactic Council and other advanced species remained oblivious to the true extent of humanity's capabilities, convinced that Earth posed no real threat. But the leaders of Earth knew better. They understood that the galaxy was a dangerous place, full of species that would not hesitate to exploit any perceived weakness. The construction of the Sleeper fleet was a direct response to this reality, a proactive measure designed to ensure that humanity would not only survive but also thrive in the face of any threat. The fleet was more than just a collection of warships. It was a symbol of humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and unyielding will to defend their home. In the final stages of preparation, the fleet underwent rigorous testing and simulations, fine-tuning every aspect to perfection. General Steele and his team ran countless scenarios, ensuring that the fleet could respond to any potential threat with speed and efficiency. The advanced weaponry developed for the fleet was tested in secret, with each system optimized to deliver maximum damage while minimizing the chances of detection. The alien coalition's assault on Earth was swift and brutal, their forces descending upon the planet with a fury that left little time for a coordinated defense. Cities were reduced to rubble, and Earth's orbital defenses crumbled under the relentless barrage. The invaders, confident in their superiority, executed their attack with cold precision, expecting minimal resistance. For a brief moment, it seemed as though Earth would fall, just as the Galactic Council had predicted. But as the alien fleet tightened its grip, a ripple of unease began to spread among the coalition's commanders. Their sensors, which should have been picking up the last remnants of Earth's defenses, instead began to detect strange anomalies at the edge of the solar system. Unidentifiable signals, fluctuating energy readings, nothing that fit the expected profile of a dying world's final stand. These anomalies were dismissed at first, considered irrelevant by the overconfident commanders who believed they had already won. Then, without warning, the void of space came alive. From the darkness, the sleeper fleet decloaked, its ships emerging from their hidden positions with the precision of a well-rehearsed drill. The coalition, caught completely off guard, scrambled to understand what was happening. In an instant, the balance of power shifted. The human fleet, far larger and more advanced than any of the invaders had imagined, moved into formation, surrounding the alien ships in a deadly, coordinated maneuver. Panic gripped the alien commanders as they watched the human warships open fire. The sleeper fleet unleashed a barrage of energy weapons, missiles, and rail guns, each strike delivered with pinpoint accuracy. The alien vessels, once the hunters, were now the prey. Ships that had seemed invincible moments before were torn apart by the sheer force of the human attack. The coalition's advanced shields, which had held firm against Earth's initial defenses, faltered and collapsed under the onslaught. The aliens had no time to regroup. The human fleet pressed its advantage, employing tactics that the coalition had never encountered before. Human ships darted in and out of combat, using their advanced cloaking devices to disappear from the battlefield only to reappear in the most unexpected places. The confusion among the alien ranks grew as the human ships seemed to be everywhere at once, striking from multiple angles with devastating effect. The coalition's commanders, seasoned veterans of countless campaigns, found themselves paralyzed by the sheer ferocity of the human counterattack. This was not the weak, disorganized resistance they had expected. The humans fought with a ruthless efficiency that belied their species' reputation as newcomers to the galactic stage. Each move was calculated, each strike designed to maximize damage while minimizing risk. It was as if the humans had anticipated every tactic the coalition might use and had prepared the perfect countermeasure. Desperation set in as the coalition's fleet began to disintegrate. Some ships attempted to flee, activating their warp drives in a frantic bid for escape, but the humans had planned for this as well. Interdiction fields, deployed by the sleeper fleet, trapped the alien vessels within the combat zone, preventing any chance of retreat. The coalition was trapped, their once powerful fleet now a disorganized mass of wreckage and burning hulks. The few ships that managed to break free of the chaos were pursued relentlessly by the human fleet. The message was clear: there would be no mercy, no quarter given. This was total war, and humanity intended to make an example of the invaders. The coalition's commanders, once so confident in their victory, now faced the unthinkable. They had underestimated humanity, and now they were paying the ultimate price. As the last remnants of the coalition's fleet were hunted down, the scale of the human victory became apparent. The sleeper fleet had not just repelled the invaders, it had annihilated them. The alien ships that hadn't been destroyed were left adrift, their crews either dead or captured. The humans had achieved complete dominance over the battlefield, their tactics and technology proving far superior to anything the coalition had anticipated. The shockwaves of this defeat reverberated through the ranks of the alien coalition. What had begun as a routine conquest had turned into a disaster of unimaginable proportions. The few survivors would return to their homeworlds with tales of human ships that appeared from nowhere, of a fleet that had been lying in wait, ready to strike with lethal precision. The coalition's arrogance had blinded them to the true threat that humanity posed, and now, their once proud fleet lay in ruins. The news of the human victory against the alien coalition spread through the galaxy like wildfire, reaching the halls of the Galactic Council faster than anyone had anticipated. The Council, composed of representatives from the most powerful species in the galaxy, had long regarded humanity as a minor player, an underdeveloped civilization with little to contribute to the grand schemes of galactic politics. But the annihilation of the Coalition's fleet shattered that perception overnight. At first, the Council's reaction was one of disbelief. How could a species that had barely begun to explore the stars achieve such a decisive victory against a force as formidable as the Coalition? The initial reports were met with skepticism, many dismissing them as exaggerations or misinterpretations. The Council's leaders, deeply entrenched in their own superiority, struggled to accept the reality that humanity had not only survived the invasion, but had utterly crushed the invaders. In an attempt to maintain the status quo, the Council's members convened in a series of emergency sessions. Their goal was to downplay the significance of the human victory, to frame it as a fluke, a lucky break that did not reflect any true threat to the existing balance of power. They issued statements suggesting that the Coalition's defeat was due to internal weaknesses, poor strategy, or perhaps even sabotage. The Council was determined to reassure its member species that nothing had fundamentally changed. But as more detailed reports began to filter in, it became clear that this was no mere accident of war. The accounts from surviving Coalition commanders, though fragmented and panicked, painted a picture of a human fleet that was not only technologically advanced but tactically brilliant. The speed, precision, and ruthlessness with which the Sleeper fleet had executed its counterattack left no doubt that humanity had become a force to be reckoned with. The Council could no longer ignore the implications. Behind closed doors, the tone of the discussions shifted. The Council, recognizing that humanity was now a significant power, began to explore ways to bring Earth into the fold. They realized that humanity's newfound strength could either be a threat or an asset, depending on how they responded. Diplomatic overtures were swiftly organized, with emissaries dispatched to Earth to negotiate alliances and treaties. The Council hoped to co-opt humanity's power, to integrate it into the existing order before it could upset the delicate balance of galactic politics. However, the Council was unprepared for the level of strategic foresight that humanity displayed. Earth's leaders, having anticipated this exact response, had already laid the groundwork for their next move. They welcomed the Council's overtures but on their own terms. The diplomatic teams sent to Earth found themselves negotiating from a position of weakness, forced to acknowledge humanity's new status as a major player on the galactic stage. The terms humanity proposed were clear and uncompromising. Earth demanded equal representation in the Galactic Council, the lifting of all previous restrictions on their technological development, and the establishment of mutual defense pacts with key Council members. In exchange, humanity offered access to their newly developed faster-than-light technology and the potential for joint military operations. The message was implicit but undeniable: humanity would no longer be sidelined or ignored. As the negotiations unfolded, the Council's unease grew. They had expected a grateful, perhaps even subservient, response from humanity, an eagerness to join the ranks of the galaxy's elite. Instead, they were met with a species that understood its newfound power and was unafraid to wield it. The Council members, accustomed to dictating terms, now found themselves on the back foot, forced to compromise in ways they had never anticipated. The realization dawned on the Council that humanity had not only survived the invasion, but had used it as a stepping stone to elevate their position in the galaxy. The Sleeper fleet was not just a military triumph. It was a calculated move to secure Earth's future among the stars. Humanity had anticipated the Council's reaction and had prepared meticulously for this moment. The Council, once confident in its ability to control the narrative, now found itself outmaneuvered by a species it had long underestimated. As the negotiations continued, the Council's growing unease turned to concern. Humanity's demands were reasonable, but they were also a clear signal that Earth intended to chart its own course in the galaxy. The balance of power was shifting, and the Council could no longer pretend that humanity was anything less than a formidable player. The alliance that was eventually forged between Earth and the Council was one born out of necessity rather than mutual respect, a partnership between equals rather than the patron-client relationship the Council had envisioned. The Galactic Council, once dismissive of Earth and its people, was now forced to formally acknowledge humanity as a major power. The recognition was not merely ceremonial but a fundamental shift in the galactic order. Humanity's decisive victory over the alien coalition had left the Council with no choice but to admit Earth into the highest echelons of power. The once inconsequential species was now a central player in galactic politics, wielding influence that had previously been unimaginable. With this acknowledgement came significant changes within the Council itself. Policies that had long marginalized Earth were swiftly revised. Restrictions on human technological development were lifted, and Earth was granted full membership in the Council, with a seat at the table where the most critical decisions were made. The attitudes of the other member species, once condescending and aloof, shifted as well. Earth's representatives were now treated with the respect and caution reserved for the most powerful and influential species in the galaxy. The shift in galactic power dynamics was undeniable. Humanity's emergence as a major force had altered the balance of power, creating a new paradigm in which Earth played a central role. The once mighty species of the Council, who had considered themselves the guardians of galactic order, now found themselves negotiating with a species that had proven its strength both on the battlefield and in the diplomatic arena. Humanity's rise was not just a story of military might. It was a testament to strategic foresight and the will to protect their own interests at any cost. As Earth solidified its new position, the negotiations that followed were as crucial as the battles that had preceded them. Humanity, keenly aware of its newfound leverage, entered these discussions with a clear agenda. They sought to forge alliances with key Council members, ensuring that their position would be not just recognized but also reinforced by mutual cooperation. These alliances were carefully crafted, each one designed to strengthen Earth's influence while also providing tangible benefits to their new partners. The agreements reached in these negotiations reflected humanity's strategic acumen. They offered access to their advanced technology, including the faster-than-light travel that had given them the edge in the recent conflict, but on their own terms. In return, they secured commitments for mutual defense, trade agreements that favored Earth's growing economy, and a voice in the Council's most important decisions. These deals were not just about securing Earth's safety. They were about establishing humanity as an indispensable part of the galactic community. The long-term consequences of these events began to unfold quickly. Humanity's influence spread beyond the Council's chambers, as other species, both within and outside the Council, recognized the need to engage with this rising power. Earth became a hub of activity, with diplomats, traders, and military leaders from across the galaxy seeking to establish ties with the newest major power. The human perspective, once dismissed as naive and short-sighted, was now sought after and respected. Earth's leaders, for their part, understood the responsibilities that came with their new status. They knew that maintaining their position would require careful management of both their alliances and their resources. They continued to invest in their military capabilities, ensuring that the Sleeper Fleet remained a symbol of their readiness to defend their interests. At the same time, they pursued diplomatic initiatives that aimed to stabilize the regions of space where tensions were highest, using their influence to broker peace and prevent future conflicts. As humanity's role in the galaxy grew, so did their vision for the future. Earth's leaders began to look beyond immediate concerns, considering the long-term goals that would secure their place among the stars. They envisioned a future where humanity was not just a power to be reckoned with but a leader in shaping the galaxy's destiny. Plans were laid for the expansion of human influence, not through conquest but through cooperation, innovation, and the sharing of knowledge. The story of humanity's rise was far from over. The events that had led to their recognition as a major power were just the beginning. Earth's leaders knew that the galaxy was vast and full of challenges yet to be faced. But they also knew that they had the tools, the allies, and the determination to meet those challenges head-on. The future was theirs to shape, and they intended to do so with the same resolve that had brought them to this point.